You can add another name to the Chicago Bears list of pending interviews for their head coaching role. This time, Ron Rivera. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this news for today. According to Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, the Bears will interview former Chicago Bear player, former Chicago Bear DC, former head coach of the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera, for their head coaching role. Now, as many Bears fans know, Ron Rivera played for the Chicago Bears from 1984 to 1992. He also was the Bears' defensive quality coach from 1997 to 1998. He came back to be our defensive coordinator in 2004 till 2006, where he eventually left to go to the San Diego Chargers to become their defensive coordinator eventually after being their linebackers coach. And then he was the Carolina Panthers head coach from 2011 to 2019 and the Washington Commanders head coach from 2020 to 2023. When you look at Ron Rivera as a head coach in the NFL, the record, it's okay, right? Not great at all. 102 and 103, so a 49% win percentage, almost 500, right? He's right there at almost being 500. But this is a guy that does have that leader of men quality that the Bears have been looking for. But this feels like another kind of punt when it comes down to the head coaching searches. Yes, he was on the 85 team, and this feels like the Bears pulling back on that nostalgia piece of it. Not to say that Ron did not bring something as a defensive coordinator, right? I would not be mad at all at the potential of Ron being a defensive coordinator for this team, but Riverboat Ron being the head coach of a team that's trying to change its offense, that's where you have something to look. I mean, you have some questions there, but when you look at the head coaching interviews so far by the Bears, the coaches that they've requested interviews for, it's all over the place, right? So I don't know how much you can really read into this or anything like that, but it's something you look at and you say, all right, Bears, what are you doing right now? Right? I don't know. Listen, same thing here, brother. I don't know how I feel about this either. To be 100% honest, I have no idea how to feel about this right now, right? Like, because in some instance, like, I know that he brings some of that quality that the Bears are looking for, but otherwise it's still, I don't know. Like if they were to say that they were interviewing Ron for the defensive coordinator, I would have no questions. I actually wouldn't mind that at all. But for your head coach, I don't know. It just I don't know how to feel about it. Because like I said, initially my thought is like, this seems like a Bears hire, but we're trying to buck this type of trend. But at the same time, when you have guys like Brian Flores, Anthony Weaver, right, on the list, I can see where Ron may fit in that type of thing, right? I guess we'll see. I don't hate the idea of Chico. I mean, listen, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people that go back and forth on that as well, right? I'm just here to push the like, but shout out to my brother Corn in the building. I would love Ron as the DC, not much as I completely agree with you, BF. Completely agree with you there, bro. Like, I really look at that and I say, like, if this was a defensive coordinator, and if the Bears had already hired their head coach and we heard that they were interviewing Ron for defensive coordinator, I would absolutely love it. But as a head coach, I'm just like, okay, that's an interesting route to go. But hey, we'll see. Ben Johnson, HC, Ron Rivera as DC. I've said it before. I would love Lovie Smith, but if you can't get Lovie Smith as DC, I'm not mad at Ron at DC. I'm not mad at that at all. We need to interview Byron. I guess not Brain, but Byron Leftwich for OC. I wouldn't be mad at that. 50-50 on HC, 100. That completely agree with you, Book. I completely agree with you, bro. 100% in on Ron. Like, to combine you and Deontay's comments, if they were to hire somebody like a Ben Johnson, I'll even say this, if they were to hire Pete Carroll as the head coach, and you got Byron Leftwich as your OC, and you got Ron Rivera as your DC, I'm happy with that as an offseason. I mean, even if it's Mike Vrabel, right? Anybody. Byron Leftwich and Ron Rivera as your OC and DC, really under any coach, I'm not mad at that. I think especially if you get an older coach to be able to mold Byron and maybe take over as that next head coach, I'm not mad at that, right? But Rivera as the head coach, it's just like I got questions. I don't hate it though, right? I just got questions about it. What are we up to? 20 candidates. None of them have anything in common, bro. I mean, other than being NFL employees, you're 100% right, bro. I think they're gathering info from different. Yes, and I agree with that, Trav. I do think that they're just trying to get all the different perspectives that they can possibly get on everything, right? And I think they're trying to then use all that information that they gather to then make a decision on the next round of interviews. I think the next round, right? This first round of interviews is like doing exploratory search in a trial, right? When you're and this may go overhead some, like it's not Law and Order trials, but literally in litigation. People do exploration where they look at everything, right? And they start whittling some things down. And I think that that's what this initial interview round is for the Chicago Bears. They're looking at everything right now. The second round of interviews, I think that's where we'll get a better idea of what they're looking for as a head coach. Right now, trying to take too much from what they may be looking for, I don't think you can really do. The next round, when they cut down some of the candidates and they're more selective about people who go into the second round of interviews, that's where I think we'll get more information from, if that makes sense. Like Pohl said, he said nothing is off the table, so they're interviewing everybody that is available, but I hope he's the DC. I would love for him as the DC. Love for him as the DC. This is just a dumb process. I don't know what they are trying to approve. It's not trying to prove anything. They're trying to prove. I mean, it's really not a dumb process. When you look at it, and the Bears wanting to make sure that they go over everything, it's actually a fairly smart process. But I think it does show that maybe they don't trust their first instinct. You know, it is what it is. Watch the Bears will hire him as an offense, bro. Now they're not even that. Yeah, come on, let's give them some credit. They're not even that stupid. I watched Ron Rivera ruin Cam Newton, so no for me. I can't say that he ruined Cam. I don't agree that he ruined Cam. Cam, like we gotta put some of the onus on Cam himself for some of the shit that Cam did. I might swerve and bend that corner. That's hilarious. The move more than likely have their short. I think they'll have their short list specifically in the next round for sure. Mr. Gilliard, I agree with Ron as DC, not as HC. And I agree with that one, right? Nah, bro, some of them are from college. Okay, that doesn't mean that people can't be effective from college. Like, I mean, I don't look at like, I know some people look at this and be like, how can you hire a college coach? But I mean, we've seen some, and I'm not saying it's a lot, but you can be successful moving from college to the NFL. The virtual interviews are cheap as fuck. That said, with all these interviews, the organization is getting a lot of feedback from what they need to right the ship. Have faith, my guys. Appreciate y'all. Completely agree. Very, very good insight and level-headed thinking there, brother. To keep it looks like they have zero idea of what they're looking for. Like I said, I think we'll get a better grasp on what they're looking for in the second round of interviews. At this point, they should interview me as well. I mean, listen, hey, what you got to bring to the table? The Chargers interviewed 15 candidates last year. This is nothing new. The Chargers have nothing to do with the Bears. We're talking about the Bears specifically. I don't give a fuck what another franchise does. The Bears, this is new for the Bears. The Bears have typically gone a short list. And I'm not saying that new means bad, right? But, we'll see what happens. I don't think it's a smart process. If shopping for a sports car, there's no need to test drive a minivan. Yeah, but that's too broad of that. You can't really compare that to NFL. That's too broad of a comparison. That really doesn't work. So that comparison really doesn't hold true. If we can get Mike Tomlin, because Mike Tomlin's not going to happen. Like that is sensationalization, whatever word I'm looking for from the media. Mike Tomlin isn't really a candidate here, and that's why I've done no video on it, right? I hope we can get Rex Ryan for DC. You said the only thing they have in common is, yeah, I mean, I said some of them specifically have in common. I didn't say all of them. So listen, if you're gonna try to correct me, Crimson, right? Bobby Hill, get it together, my brother. Nah, Crimson's all good, bro. I think that this is another example of micromanaging. I think they're trying to pick the coach and the coaching staff, and this is more of a defensive coordinator interview. I mean, that wouldn't be out of the line of the Bears done before, but that's not really micro. I don't think micromanaging is the right word there. That's not micromanaging. That's using the most of your asses. Like, look at it for most of the people that we interviewed for the offensive coordinator role. Not most of them, but a lot of them ended up on the staff, right? So, I mean, I think that's just a smart use of your time. I mean, honestly, they're in a period of time right now where all they can do is interview. So Joe Brady is the best candidate this cycle. I got to disagree. Best candidate based off what? I would love to hear what you're basing that off of. Because Joe Brady, technically Ben Johnson brings more to the table than Ben Johnson as far as proven, right? And then even that, like, you got coaches with a better resume, like Pete Carroll has a better resume than Joe Brady. I can't say that Joe Brady's the best candidate. He may be your favorite candidate, and that's fine. But I don't think you can objectively say he's the best, right? Hell, let them interview as many people as possible, gather info, make an informed decision, right? And that's why I'm not negative on the way they're going through this process. Yes, Cam Newton fell off, but let's not act like Ron was a good head coach. He didn't have ever a back-to-back. But those are two separate things, Michael. Two very separate things, right? Like, yeah, Ron, and I said that at the beginning. Ron isn't a great head coach. He's a functional head coach, right? Much like I say about Billy Donovan, he's functional, right? And that's where the questions will come in at. But I'm not blaming Cam's fall off completely on Ron either, right? I tell you what, the culture would change if Chico was in the building, no matter what spot. I agree with that. That's 100% fact. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. The micromanagement and aspect of its most coaches hire their own staff, and it looks like the Bears are trying to hire the coaching staff for them. That's not really micromanaging either. That's, again, using smart of your time. And I do agree that the head coach should pick their staff. But here's to say this, right? It's if you do hire, let's say they hire Ben Johnson, and then through talking to Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson says, I'm thinking about Thomas Brown. I'm looking at guys like Thomas Brown, the Iowa State coach. I'm thinking about those for guys for my staff. And then the Bears can say, oh, we did talk to them. This is kind of what they were thinking. How do you feel about that? But still leave it up to Ben Johnson to make that decision, right? It's not really, you can't say something's micromanaging when they don't even have somebody in the position yet, right? So to me, again, micromanaging is still the wrong word for that, right? Now, you can say that the Bears may be trying to control some things, and we got to see what's going to happen once they officially hire the head coach. But I don't think you can safely call it micromanaging yet. Brady did more with that offense with less talent. I got to disagree. I think when you look at the it's not just about the statistical output. I think, like, you can have talent and not know how to use talent, right? There's a lot of teams with a lot of talent on it that's not used correctly. The balance that Ben Johnson's been able to have, that's something that not everybody's able to do. I know we typically look at it and say, well, you got talent, you should win football games. But it's about the balance and how he maximizes and puts that talent all in the right position. Because a lot of coaches could be like, hey, we got talent. Our playbook is going to be simple. When you look at what Ben Johnson has done as far as changing that playbook year to year to get more and take the information that he's learned in the prior season, how to use players even better the next season, I think there's something to be said about that too. In my opinion, again, I'm not saying that your opinion is worse, is less poignant than mine. You're great. It's just a conversation. I just want to make sure I'm not trying to say you're wrong for how you feel. I'm just saying that I just have a different view on that, right? Which of these candidates is the best fit for the polls? Fit to be Poe's new brother. That's funny. I get what you're saying in that. That's funny. Who do you want to see the Bears' next head coach? You know what? I've gone back and forth. I was about to say I've been very consistent, but honestly, I haven't. One of my favorite candidates coming into this was Brian Flores. But I do think that Vrabel has really, as I've looked more and more into it, he's really been somebody that I like more and more. But I don't really have a favorite anymore. Like, I think at this point, I honestly think I'm overstimulated. I'm just being 100% honest with you. And it's because as you guys know that watch this channel consistently, I'm not just a surface level guy. Like, I've already gone in and looked at like what some of these coaches have done with offenses and defenses as far as like schematically and things. Like, honestly, I am fucking overstimulated. I could not be the GM right now going through this many interviews. I am way overstimulated. I have looked at so much football tape from these coaches over the last 7 days that honestly, I'm taking a break from football after this stream today. Unless some crazy news drops, I'm taking a break from football for today. I mean, not watching football, but from like digging into these candidates. I am way overstimulated. My brain has way too much information right now. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So when you ask me who's the favorite candidate, who's my favorite, it's listen. I can make a case for just about everybody on this list. Just about. I'm not saying everybody. I really do like Cliff Kingsbury as well. I just don't know if he'll really accept the position. I like Brian Flores. I like Vrabel. Yeah, I like a lot. I like pieces of all these guys. It's just, man, I listen, like I said, I am way fucking overstimulated. And I don't know if that makes me a worse content creator or what. It's just I've done too much the last 7 days. Really, way too much. Way too much. I'm talking about I've gone and looked at interviews and what players have said about each one of these coaches while under them. I'm talking about for out of the 18 people that I think the Bears have put interviews in over the last 7 days, probably about 10 of them I've done deep dives on. And I'm talking about hours and hours and hours of watching shit. It's too much, bro. I'm telling you that right now. Today's supposed to be my day off, by the way. Ben Johnson wants to bring in current lines. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. See, this is the thing that I'll say. We, and I'm not saying you specifically, as fans, have to stop letting media rumors become our opinion. There's been nothing said about that for sure. There's been speculation that may be, but there's also been speculation that Ben Johnson's fine. He just wants to make sure that Poles isn't going to be removed a year after that he's hired. So I'm not going to go into this, the thing that he wants to bring in. There's been rumors that he's interested in that, but we can't say that for sure. Hell, if you believe the rumors, it's been everything from Ben Johnson wants the job, but he's not going to beg for it. Ben Johnson wants the job, but he doesn't want Ryan Poles here. Ryan Poles doesn't want Ben. It's going to go all over the place. So, it is what it is. To bring in Agnew now, build what they want the next year. If Ryan Poles leaves, Agnew becomes the new GM next year. Listen, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's because I don't think that that's the way that the Bears are going to operate. The Bears have never turned over that level of power to a head coach. And I get it. I'm not even saying I'm not even having the conversation whether Ben Johnson deserves that. I don't care about that. I'm looking at this as a 38-year-old man where the only franchise I've ever followed day to day has been the Bears. The Bears are not going to turn over that much power to a head coach before he proves anything with the franchise. Now, if Ben Johnson comes here and we win consistently, we get to the playoffs, those type of things. Do I think that with the new era they may be able to willing to turn that over? Maybe, but there's no way in hell that I believe that this Chicago Bears organization, that the people who are running the team barely want to give up power to people in the organization. I do not believe that they're going to turn over that level of decision-making to a first-time head coach until he proves that he's a Chicago Bear. There's just no way. There's no way that that's going to happen. No way that that's going to happen. Ian Cunningham may get Tennessee GM position to open the door for Agnew to come in and replace Cunningham. Now, well, the thing is, I don't know if Agnew would take a assistant GM role. I don't know if he'll do that. I just don't know. I'm not saying he won't, but I just don't know. I just want someone that can come in and do the damn job. I feel you. That is exactly where I am right now. I 100% agree with you on that one. I just want, at this point, just get somebody who can come in here and be successful. Is that too much to ask? Like, that's it. I don't give a damn if they hire Plankton. If Plankton could come in here and coach a team with that damn microphone and we successful, I'm cool with it. I just want them to hire somebody that is going to have some success and get this team where the hell to a place of being respectable. That's all I want. MP, just the feeling Ben not coming to Chicago. And you very well may be right on that one. You very well may be right on that one. Yeah, Haize talks about not wanting to hire Brian Flores because of what he did to Tua, but here's what I told him. He wasn't necessarily wrong about Tua. Yeah, but listen, here's the thing. And listen, I'm not saying don't go and support. I'm not saying that at all. Haize's football and basketball IQ is fucking terrible. And listen, I would stand on that. I would have a conversation with Haize. Haize is literally, I get it that he was one of the first guys to be on this platform talking about the Bears consistently. But if you listen to Haize talk football consistently, you'll find out he don't know shit about football. He is the George McCaskey of Bears podcasters. I'm sorry. I listen, Harrison from Bears Now may not be an actual Bears fan. He's actually a Minnesota Vikings fan, but he knows football. Fies don't know shit about football. I'm sorry. I just got to be 100% honest with it. Fies does not know shit about football. He doesn't, and he knows even less about the Bulls. I remember I watched the video of him talking about the Bulls, and he was talking about the salary cap situation, and I'm just looking at everything that just came out your mouth was wrong. Every single thing that just came out your mouth was wrong. So, it is what it is. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm going to shut the fuck up. But y'all know I don't mince words here. I'm going to always be honest. No to Ron Rivera. They should pay a head coach that we had already who ran when Lovie Smith was the Bears head. That has nothing to do with finding success. I'm sorry. That don't matter to me. If he's the right guy, he's the right guy. But again, I'm not saying that he's the right guy either. Am I the only one who didn't know Rivera was on? You didn't know Rivera was on the 85 Bears? Yeah, he was on the 85 Bears, man. What up, bro? I don't want Chico, but I could see them hiring Rivera. Honestly, the McCaskies are stuck in their ways, and I don't expect that change. Listen, facts on that one. Facts on that one. Oh, you're right. It is Chiefs. That's my fault. You're right. It is Chiefs. It's not Vikings. It's the Chiefs. My bad. You're absolutely right on that. It is the Chiefs. My bad. Leave my dogs alone. Hey, listen, I'm just being honest with you, bro. Like, one thing about me is I'm gonna always shoot it straight. It is what it is. Does that sometime make people not want to work with me? Sure. But hey, listen, if you don't want to work with me because I call you out because your football acumen sucks, that's fine. I don't want to talk football with stupid people no way. That's mean. That's mean. I shouldn't have said it that way. I didn't have to say that. That was mean. I didn't have to say it that way. That's bad. My bad. My bad. That's me. That's mean. I didn't mean it meanly. I just mean just flat out. Like, it is what it is when it comes down to that. But Harrison was running two channels, Bears and Chiefs, and then he picked the Bears, if I remember right. Yeah, he picked the Bears because it was bigger at that time. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. He took the Bears because it was more lucrative, not because he has more passion about the Bears. Just going to be frank with y'all on that one. I'm just going to be honest with you. I like the points that Cronin put out there. Joe Brady did a lot this year with less talent with the Bills. Yeah, like I said, and I already talked about that point early in the stream, but there's something to be said about being able to manage and evolve and change still when you have a lot of talent on your team. So, it is what it is. Haize, you're the realest commentator on the Bulls YouTube, on the Bears YouTube. Hey, listen, I gotta be me. And that's one thing. And shout out to my boys, because I know Steve-O, C-Dub, Bobby, Kev. I know there's sometimes they're like, Haize, did you really have to say that? But they always rock with me because that's my family, right? But I'm telling, like, that's just me. I've always been that way. Like, even outside of YouTube, I've always been that way. I'm never gonna fake like I like somebody at all. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I just don't care. It is what it is, bro. What's good, Haize? Hey, man, share the link for the Bears drip. Anywho, they need to wrap these interviews up and get Ben before the Raiders or Jags do. I agree. You know what's funny enough? I got this shirt came from, this sweater came from, where did I get this one at? You know what? Y'all gonna laugh at me. I think I actually ordered this Bear sweater from Aeropostale. I believe that's where I got this one from. Yep, Aeropostale. So there you guys go on that one. I don't know if they still sell it or not, but I got this one from Aeropostale. That's what this is. Crazy, right? Crazy. Joe Brady might end up being the guy if we miss on Ben and Vrabel. Maybe. Hey, and you know what I worry about? If they miss out on Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, that they'll just go with Pete Carroll and just hope that they're going to be able to develop the next head coach while Pete Carroll's here. It's a little bit. But all right, y'all, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. Again, this is supposed to be my day off. But news, we got a super chat from Anthony Anderson. First, thank you for supporting the channel, brother. It says this: If we hire a defensive head coach and get an OC and the OC turns our offense around, then we won't have him for long because another team will make him a head coach and the Bears offense is right back where we start. I wouldn't say that. You can't assume that because there are some offensive coordinators that just appreciate being offensive coordinators. There are some with that. Look at how many head coaches go on to just stay coordinators after they fell as a head coach. So you can't assume that. And I think that there's something to be said about how you then manage that talent. Because if you make that offensive coordinator the associate head coach, where they're the heir apparent, if the head coach does ever move on, they may be willing to stay. This is my thought process, right? I get where you're coming from, and you could very well be right. I'm just saying that that's not always the case, right? That's not always the case. Haize, thank you for always being solid and honest. You ain't got to thank me for being real, bro. Being real is free. I wish more people did it. I really wish more people did it. But all right, y'all, I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys mean the world to me. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearcentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. See you guys on the next one. Chi-Town up, bear down, y'all. Peace.